All right, so here, this one says we're supposed to find the standard deviation of the data items in each of the samples shown below, round to 2 decimal places. So we've got 2 samples, and so what we need to do is let's do sample A over here, and we'll do sample B over here, and hopefully that's enough room to do those. Now, finding standard deviation. So we'll have our X, and so now we'll write those. So we'll get enough room. So we have 73, 75, 77, 79, 81, and 83. Okay. And then we're going to take X minus X bar. So we're going to have 73 minus. Now that means we have to find X bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to take all those, add them together, and then divide by 6. So let's go do that. So let's clear that out. So we had 73 plus, oops, let's do this. Put our parenthesis. 73 plus 75 plus 77 plus 79 plus 81, 1 plus 83. Well, I can't hit the buttons right today, but that's okay. And there was 6 of those, so now we divide by 6, and we get the average of 78. All right, so that's going to be our average. So 73 minus 78, and that's going to give us a -5. So now we've got enough room for that column, hopefully for the rest of the way down. And then our last one is going to be X minus X bar squared. So a -5 squared is 25. Now we'll take 75 minus 78. That's going to give us what? A -3. -3 times -3 is a 9. Now we have 77 minus 78. That's going to be a -1. -1 squared is 1. Now we have 79 minus 78. Well, that's just a +1. A +1 squared is 1. Now we have 81 minus 78. That's going to be 3. So 3 squared is 9. And we have 83 minus 78. That's going to be a +5. So 5 squared is 25. And so now we need to take the sum of all of those. So that's going to be 50. That's going to be 10. That's 60. And that's another 10. That's 70. So our sum is going to be 70. So that gives us then standard deviation is equal to the square root of 70 divided by, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 1 is 5. And so if we divide those, so we're doing square root of 70 divided by 5. That should give us 3.74 to 2 decimal places. So that's our standard deviation. All right, what about sample B? Well, again, X, this is probably gonna be big too, so so we've got a 40, 44, 92, 94, 98, and 100. That looks like 1,000, but it's only 100. Oops. Let's erase that. And now we want X minus X bar. And so now we're going to have 40 minus something. So now let's go find what our average is. So again, it's 6. So we have 40 plus 44 plus 92 plus 94 plus 98 plus 100 divided by 6. So that gave us 78 as our average. Well, notice that's the same standard or same average, but look at the numbers. They're totally different looking. So that's kind of cool. So 78. So that's going to give us what? A -38. And so now this one's going to be X minus X bar squared. Well, we'll come back to that one. I'm not going to do that one in my head. We can do 44 minus 78, and that's going to be what? A -34. We can do 92 minus 78, and that's going to be what? 14. 94 minus 78, that's going to be what? 16. 98 minus 78, that's going to be 20. And 100 minus 78, that's going to be 22. All right, so now we have to square all of those. So let's go back and square them, and then we'll write them down as we do that. So we had a negative 38 squared, 1444, all right. And we've got a negative, it was 34 squared, it's 1156. And we have a next one was 14 squared, that's 196. And we had 16 squared, I think that's 256, yep. And then we have 20 squared is 400, and then we have 22 squared is 484. So now if we add those together while we're here, 1444 plus 1156 plus 196 plus 256 plus 400, because that was the 20 squared, plus the 484, that gives us 3936 as our sum of that column. Now, let's go ahead and just do all our calculation here. We'll write it all down. So we had 3936 divided by, and again, 5. And so our standard deviation should be 28.07. All right, so let's write all those down. So here we had 1444. Here we had 1156. Here we had 196. That was 256. That was 400. And that was 484. And the sum was equal to 3936. And so the standard deviation was the square root of 3936 over 5. And we said that was 28.07. Okay. So that was how we got those. So now let's go back and let's do all this again by calculator. Okay, so now we know we can do it by, longhand by table. So now let's do the calculator. All right, so let's clear all that out. So let's go back to stat. We want number 1 for edit. Now let's clear these out. Okay, so that's gone. So our numbers were 73, and then we had 75, then 77, then 79, then 81, and then 83. Now let's go over here and we have the second column. So let's do 40, and then we had 44, and then we had 92, and then we had 94, and we had 98, and then we had 100. Okay. So we're going to do over to calc one variable stats. So our list is going to be L1. So we hit that, go down and hit enter, enter, enter. And 3.74 was our standard deviation, which is what we found on ours. Much easier typing it here, but we got the same thing. Now let's do it again, but now let's do L2. So to get L2, you have to hit second 2. Now we're going to do the L2, and we get 28.057, so 28.06. Okay, so that's going to be our answer in this case. So 06. And I think we had 07 here, so it's probably just a rounding difference here. So that's going to be the key difference on that one. So let's go back here and let's quit that. And let's do the square root of 3936 divided by 5 again. Oh, we have 29. Okay, so I must have read that wrong. So it's 28.06. So that was the error there. So let's erase that 7 and write what I should have read the first time, which would have been, if I can find my pen, a 6. Okay. All right. So that's how we do standard deviations the long way as well as the short way in the calculator. Let's come back for some more.